This diagram shows the basic components of a module. Starting at the top, we have a top view of a connecting plate, and below that is a side view of the connecting plate along with a side view of the rest of the module. In the side view, the green shaded area is the telescoping and pivoting shaft, and the component below is the multi-module latching base. This illustration starts off by showing the pivoting motion of a telescoping shaft. First about one axis, then the other, with a motion mock-up of a module made from Lego pieces. It can freely pivot around from any combination of angles within the pivoting range of each axis. For example, it can traverse along the perimeter of the pivoting range limits of each axis, or from any arbitrary position to any other arbitrary position, as shown here. This is the telescoping shaft being extended, then retracted. An actual module's telescoping shaft would be able to telescope far more than available from this motion mock-up's range. The connecting plate is being rotated in either direction about the axis of the telescoping shaft. Introducing a second module, we now show how two modules can connect together via their connecting plates. Some of the motion capabilities are illustrated, including the ability of the connecting plates to rotate between the rest of the two module components in relatively fixed positions. Here are 18 identical motion mock-ups of the modules built from Legos. Here we begin by showing how two modules can join together via their multi-module latching bases. The bottom of the narrow end of one joins the other along its longer side. Now we show how three modules can all join together with each other via their latching bases. Notice that they all share a common corner of a partially constructed cube-like core. And from here, the thinner ends of the latching bases point upwards together at an angle in a clockwise direction. Four modules will now be shown joining together via their latching bases to form a topological loop at the scale of the individual modules. A fifth will be connected to cap one of the two open sides, which introduces mirror image corners of the partially formed cube-like core. Finally, a sixth module will be affixed to complete the cell structure. Now another cell will be created. There are various combinations of ways that individual modules can be added to the forming cell to complete it. For instance, here, the first three modules are joined to each other and the fourth is added to them, as opposed to forming a module scale loop. Then the last two are affixed wherever space is available. The partially started cell that was originally created will now be used to form a third cell. Now we have 3 completed cells. This section shows how 2 modules close enough to each other are capable of connecting together, regardless of each other's positional or rotational orientations with respect to each other. What this basically means is that provided any 2 cells are within range or reach of each other, there are no constraints to deal with when it is desired to have them connect to each other. The pivoting of the shafts will be able to accommodate alignment for themselves, and the telescoping feature eliminates the need for the 2 modules to be a fixed distance apart in order to join. They do, of course, need to have available telescoping shafts in order to join together, and they have to be in proper working order with no obstructions between them. Here, 2 of the cells are joined together, and one of them is joined to a 3rd cell. An example of a feature that can be derived from the flexibility available from these cells is that the 2 cells that share a common adjacent cell, the one in the middle, can join together by being pivoted towards each other by this common cell. And while the 3 join together, they are capable of moving around to many positions. It is even possible to take telescoping shafts of 2 modules that are already joined with one telescoping shaft and add an additional telescoping shaft to double the connection strength between the 2. This can be done throughout the mesh of cells. Here we can see the mesh reconfigure itself to form a structure of 3 cells joined together in series. Then how the overall structure made of cells can stretch by extending the interconnected telescoping shafts.